Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Eagle Eye Podcast. It is episode 41, and we're here to talk everything in regards to the Super Clásico. We're going to preview the Tigres matchup and so much more along the way. But before I get any further, let me introduce, as always, my co host, Mr. Cowboy Dan and Christian. How are you guys doing?
Oh man, it's been a long day. It's been a very long day, very long day for me too as well. But on the plus side, if anybody's a Texas history fan, like myself, obviously being from Texas, then something happened today in Texas.
The Cowboy Dan name is back. Yes, that's what happened in Texas
That's
today.
what happened, yes.
Okay, now tell the people what today is.
Today, since back in 1835 is what started and sparked the Texas Revolution with the Battle of Gonzales.
So there you guys have it. The Cowboys were born at that year.
No, the Texans were born that year. We're finally gaining our independence. We're working on it.
Working on it. Still haven't found the right key just yet. Mm-hmm. Christian, how are we doing, my man?
I'm doing good. Just learned that I got stung by a bee in the middle of the night. Thank God I'm not allergic. So yeah. But yeah, I'm doing good though. I'm good. Good thing I'm not allergic.
Good thing too, because then we would have been out of co-host.
Yeah, and then the ratings would go down. So
that's true though. I mean, you seem to be one of the more popular. I thought it was Dylan, but then you came in, and wow, people forget that I'm on the show sometimes.
Now, if you guys want to hear the story, it's a pretty interesting story. So I'll let you guys know later.
All right. And then introducing today our guest, a very special guest from the city of Mexico, my birthplace, Mr. Tom Harrison. Tom, how are we?
Very well, thank you. Yeah, it's great to be on the show. I know we spoke about it quite a long time ago now, but it wasn't possible with the time difference and everything. And so to be here is great. And yeah, great to be on the show, especially after such a big weekend.
Oh my goodness! I know what a weekend you had. I'm not gonna lie. I think all of us were very jealous of you.
Yes,
very jealous. I think everyone right now in the Liga MX English community is very jealous of you right now. Literally, you are the definition of LTD, living the dream. And congratulations on your success and where you're at right now, man. And we're all very proud and happy for you as well.
Thank you. Hopefully, more exciting stuff to come in the future.
Definitely. This is just a stepping stone. But we're going to talk a lot about that Clásico. You were there at the Estadio Azteca. You got to live it. You got to see what the fans were going through for the full 90 minutes and then afterwards as well. And then we're going to break down what America needs to do to try to get a result away at Tigres, which is not going to be an easy task whatsoever. So, gentlemen, are we ready to go?
Yes, let's do this.
Yeah.
Awesome. Let's get started. So, got to start somewhere, right? And we're going to start on the Super Clásico. Gentlemen, we were very hopeful for a very, very good, entertaining game. I would say we kind of got one. We were more hopeful, though, that our team was going to be able to walk away with 3 points. Almost did in the last minute of the match, which would have made my prediction from last week come true. But as we know, penalties, they plague us like no other team. Well, we walk away with a draw against Guadalajara in the Estadio Azteca, and the Super Clásico comes to a stalemate, 1-1. Let me hear your reactions.
I mean, I kind of said it too in the group chat, yeah, it hurt, because obviously we had plenty of chances to win it too. But, at the end of the day, this has been the whole story this whole season, How many times have we sat here and be like, oh, we had this chance, we had so many chances this game, chances, to really go up, more than 1-2 goals at a game. And, it just happens again. So it's really not a surprise to me. Yeah, it's disappointing, we couldn't get the 3 points. But at the end of the day, it is what it is because, we've seen it happen before. So it's not really too big of a surprise for me.
Mm-hmm. I think Dylan really hit on the head when he said that we missed chance after chance. My reaction, it's a draw with like a feeling of defeat, I really think America was the dominant team throughout the whole match, and it's just the chances that we had, especially the Uribe chance in the first half, like chances like that need to go in the net, and when they don't go in, it's frustrating.
Definitely. Tom, your final thoughts on after the full 90 minutes?
Struggling to breathe. It was incredible finish to the game, to be honest. And yeah, I think overall, to sum it up, America were the team that looked to win the game more, especially in that second half. Chivas, after scoring, dropped very, very deep and let America attack again and again and again. They should have won, but obviously the penalty wasn't good enough. It was a good save by Godinho, but it was the place that Uribe put the penalty isn't always an area where if the keeper guesses correctly, that's going to be saved. Nice height, middle of the goal to one side. If Godinho guessed right, it was always going to be saved. And
it was, and that's the case, and that's the story. And you know what, Tom, you captured that moment perfectly in your video of the fan that couldn't look at the penalty, but all the other fans just kind of holding their breath. Both sets of fans too, really. America on one side about to win it, Chivas looking to grab away a point, and it's just you captured the moment perfectly because even Copa 90 used your video.
They did, yeah.
And just to kind of capture everything, what the Clásico meant at that point. And then you really saw it. And I think if you want to take away from this game, all you need to do is watch that little clip and everything's explained.
Definitely. I was very fortunate that the guy just in front of me, I noticed he decided to turn around and pray and not look at the penalty, even though there is a giant screen just above him that he may or may not have been looking at. But I was always going to video the penalty, and then I noticed he was there, so I thought I'll get some sort of split frame where you've got him on one side, that on the other, and then the moment it was saved, the Chivas fans are all above me, the group of the Chivas only section. Yeah. So quickly turned around to see that, and it was madness. So yeah, it was. It's a perfect video, it really is. Unless you're an America fan.
No, I think you can even appreciate it if you're an America fan as well. I think you just see what it meant for the Americanismo to at that point miss that penalty and what was riding on it, because we knew that these 3 points would have been so crucial to try to cement ourselves in that top first place spot, which we kind of looks like it's going to slip out of our hands. But either way, it was a very good matchup. I think in moments there was the game kind of seemed a little bit dull, but it picked up towards the end, of course. I would say this though. I agree with you, Dylan. I think we were the better team. I know you said it too, Christian. I feel like we were the better team throughout the full 90 minutes. Chivas had their bright moments. Their goal was pretty decent. I would have to say that George Sanchez could have done a little bit better. It looked like maybe he was slipping, I don't know, but or trying to not get contact to avoid getting that penalty call. But there was moments in which Chivas tried to do something and it worked out for them at times. But I think we neutralized them pretty well. And I think for the most part, I think a player that needs to be highlighted is Guido Rodriguez. The amount of work he did in the midfield was really tremendous.
Yeah, one of my players I said too to watch too this coming game too as well. I think Guido can keep that up. I think that's the player that we've seen from the Clausura too this past season too as well. Just something keep going forward. He keeps that form too going forward, because really like we said, you're gonna have Tigres this coming game, which we'll get into too as well, and then you still got the rest of the season, the Guia too as well.
I've always said. Go. Oh, okay, I've always said time and time, Guido is the best America player this season, and if we need him to continue this form because the people around him are not, I guess, at the level that they need to be. So Guido being in form right now really gives us a huge advantage.
It really does. It really does. And let me ask you, Tom, because you were down there. I think you can appreciate a player's movement a little bit more in real life than you can on screen. Did Guido capture your attention?
Yeah, he always has done that. I mean, he was, there's sometimes those players that you see when they come into the league and you feel like within 5 minutes you work out that, hey, this guy's good. And that was something with Guido when he first came into the league. And then you're seeing him close up when I first went to America against Morelia and against Chivas, you appreciate the way he's able to find that little bit of space to receive the ball, his physicality as well, the way he gets his body in.
Oh no! Oh no!
Oh no!
Okay, we lost Tom.
We lost Tom.
You can't blame this on me, Dylan. You can't blame me on this one. But
I'll blame on
yeah.
Christian this time.
I think yeah. If we were trying to go back to what Tom was saying, he was always a very good player in Cholos, and he's definitely been a very good player for
Mhm.
us. So let's hope we can continue that run of form because, like you said, we're gonna need it.
Hmm.
Okay, it looks like we got Tom back.
Yeah, and just to add on to that, I think people are starting to realize that even though Guido had that like kind of poor season with us, with getting red cards every other game and injuries, you know, you can kind of see his full potential, and I think we appreciate him much more now.
No, yeah, definitely. So Tom, whenever you're ready, we'll gladly hear what you were trying to say about Guido, which I actually his name is Guido, not Guido.
Yes, it's Guido. Yes.
Someone said that in my recent Club America career mode. He corrected me. I do not have the name on me, but thank you, sir, for doing so. So his name is Guido, but here at the Eagle Eye Podcast, we're about to baptize him, and his name is not Guido. But
He's back.
it looks like we got Tom back. Tom, everything okay down?
Yeah,
Looks like he's
DS1.
still trying to connect.
Oh my goodness. Well, it's okay. Don't blame Tom. I will say this: my Mexico City is not known for their Wi-Fi. I
No.
will say this, but I mean, I guess just trying to carry on with the topic here. Tom, are you back? You back?
There we go.
All right, Tom.
My
Take it away.
apologies. Internet in the FA is very, very unreliable. I'll be honest.
It's okay. We'd expect it.
Yeah, it comes and goes. Whereas I was talking about Guido, yeah, well, like I said, when you see a player up close, often you.
Oh no! Don't tell me.
Oh no! Again?
His.
Well,
You know what? I think Tom represents the podcast perfectly. It just it resembles everything. There's always technical difficulties on this show. Okay, look, we're good. Okay, Tom, I think we're good now.
no, maybe.
Dylan, what'd you do?
Good. Me. Not me.
Okay, we do apologize for this. This is out of our hands, and I think out of Tom's hands as well. I think we
Yes.
need
Wait, I heard him. Did I hear him? No, okay, I thought it did. Sorry.
I was like, oh. Well, I guess maybe we'll continue with the topipic here.
Sure.
Sorry,
wait.
guys.
No, we
Okay,
got you
okay.
back. We got you back.
Yeah.
It is. It's coming and going. I'm very sorry.
No, it's okay.
problem.
Am I continuing?
Okay,
Yeah,
sorry,
yeah, go
guys.
ahead.
I don't know what you've heard me say or not, but yeah, seeing a player up close, seeing Guido up close, you were saying about how his movement, just his ability to find space, and the way he can protect the ball, the way he, if he's under pressure, he gets his body in the way, he's able to turn out of the pressure, and then find a forward pass so often. So.
Yeah, I think we can agree. We can agree to that. Yeah, he's just been a very, very good player, and like you said too, Christian, there was a lot of question in regards to him and in the first season that he had with kind of the disciplinary stuff. But I think at the end of the day, he's wrapped it up, and he could potentially be one of the best midfielders to ever play for the team if he can, find a way to win a title with this club.
Top player, yes. I don't know if you guys seen, but there's other countries, other teams from other countries, recognizing what Guido just did this past game. And, it just shows you the talent that this guy has. And it's crazy how we keep questioning how come he hasn't been called to the national team yet,
Yeah, but it sounds like he's starting to stir the pot down there in Argentina.
Yes.
So it looks like he might just make it for maybe not this October international date, but maybe for the upcoming one next year.
Yeah, maybe, hopefully, because I really think he deserves a chance. And yes, Chris, he is the best number 5 in the league. I do agree with you.
That I think we can all agree in. Well, gentlemen, let's move on and talk about the team in general before we move on into anything else like that. I want to talk about the team. I think the team started off pretty decently. I think we said America needed to go push forward. America needed to press, and then America needed to take the game to Guadalajara. And something that I think we did for a pretty good amount of time, I just don't know exactly what happened.
I'm telling you. I mean, we're going back to the same story. I mean, like let's really like I guess take a step back, and like see this really as a whole. It's the same story, like I said, this team, has shot chance after shot and shot after chance, and then you wonder to yourself, okay, I've seen this before. So when's Chivas going to bring it to us now? And Chivas actually did a little bit of that too as well.
Hence the goal that they scored.
Exactly. See, exactly. So like, to me, it's not much of a surprise. I mean, I'm still upset, because it's the Clásico. That's not how I wanted to start the Clásico. Even despite the chance, despite the thing that we started, keeping these chances up and having shots to go, really putting the pressure on, really Mateus Uribe too as well. Really bringing it to them too as well. Really orchestrating things too as well. But at the end of the day, how is it not surprising? How can you expect? What do you really expect too?
No, I agree, because the chances after chances we had, and then when we let Chivas grow into the game, because we literally let them, because at that moment America was controlling the game. America kept holding the ball, and America kept taking to the game to them, which then said Chivas didn't really have much going forward. They didn't really have much explosiveness. So as long as we kept the ball and as long as we kept them off our own side of the field, they weren't really a threat. It was once we started being a bit standoffish, it was once we started kind of just fading away and not really keeping up our press, then that's when we let Chivas back into the game, which hence they scored their goal. And like you said, it was no surprise. At the end of the day, goles que no metes, te meten. It's ridiculous that we're here sitting almost a year now, Dylan, of me and you talking about this and having the same topic on our minds. We have yet to find a clinical finisher. We have yet to find a way to score these goals. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And I think we finally got Tom back. Tom, are you good?
I've moved so that I can get onto a different internet.
Okay.
So hopefully that's going to be more stable.
It looks like it already is. It looks like it already is. So we've kind of ended the Guido discussion here. Now we've actually gone on. So we're talking about the team in general. I was telling these boys, I feel like the team did very well at the beginning, trying to take the game to Chivas, kind of really keeping them a little bit, in their own half. We were kind of putting all the pressure on them, and I felt that really America kind of letting go of that pressure and kind of letting off from what they were doing, let Chivas grow into the game.
Yeah, I think that. You spoke about the chances missed in the first half. Certainly, there was dominance to start with that wasn't capitalized on. And as the first half came to an end, there wasn't too much action. The second half started very slowly, and it was quite quiet. Things had started to slow down, and it was strange when the goal happened, because it was almost as if the crowd had predicted it. Because for about the 5 minutes up to the goal, suddenly things started to lift in the crowd, because it had been a bit quiet around half time, just afterwards, not that much was happening. But the atmosphere built for that goal. I think you could argue America let Chivas back into the game. I think, Chivas sat back a lot. They obviously played with three centre-backs, with five at the back, and they struggled to get the ball up to their attackers quite often. But I think America struggled somewhat as well at times. They struggled to play through the middle of the pitch. It would be expected, perhaps, that with Uribe and Guido in there against two very inexperienced central midfield players for Chivas, that they'd be able to exploit that and play through the middle more often. But most of the time, America were looking to play wide. The fullbacks, the wingers were very wide for a lot of the game, and they were looking to play through there. And I think that kind of played into Chivas' hands at times.
Yeah.
I think that's been the story of the season for us, and it's something that I think we've discussed, boys. It's we're always going out wide for some reason, and I've always thought that the best football we've ever played was actually going through the middle. I think when Uribe is able to link up with Peralta or with Roger, or the same as Guido, I feel like that's when we look better. I think that's that's where you saw the perfect triangle that they made. I don't remember who got the ball, but it was just and it was in the first half where America just did a perfect triangle pass and it got into the box, and that was the best football I've seen in that first half because we went down the middle. You know, we for some reason always do this tendency go out wide, go towards Renato, go towards Cecilio, and then especially we for some reason try to use Cecilio's wing so heavily, and then what happens? Cecilio tries to take one or two players on, doesn't do anything, and then what happens? We get get counterattacked on.
Yeah.
So it's right. Tom was very right. I think we struggled trying to play out the middle when really it should have been a game that you would have thought, okay, we have this in the bag if we play out the middle. These two experienced players, one of them who has a World Cup under their belt, should be able to dominate this game. But it just seems that Piojo's tactics were through the wing.
And on that topic, interesting the role that Peralta played. Because throughout this season, we've seen Peralta coming deeper often, very often, like you say about the triangle. He's coming off, whether it's Martin or whether it's Roger up front. And something I saw a lot when America played Morelia when I was at the Azteca. And it was Uribe was positioning himself on the left side and Peralta was on the right side. And they were coming in to create that triangle in the midfield with Guido at the base. And that didn't happen very much on Sunday, and I think perhaps this was because Chivas played with three centre backs, and so they felt like they needed to keep two strikers to occupy the three centre backs. Otherwise, it would be perhaps too easy. There's two players to cover Roger up front, but it meant that America weren't able to play through the middle. And something I've got a stat just to prove this about Uribe's role. Against Puebla, he made 22 passes. And against Chivas, he only made 13. So he was much less involved in the build-up.
And this is something you don't want to see from probably one of your most creative midfielders. It's ridiculous. And I think that what frustrates you more is that that these players have so much more in the tank. They just haven't showed it. Yeah. And I think the one player that I don't think a lot of people have discussed, and maybe we should be discussing, is the fact that Roger was ridiculously quiet for me.
Yes, I agree too. I don't think I know it's his first season, and I know we shouldn't put so much on him, but we're going into our 12th game of the season, and he has 1 goal.
Yeah,
2 goals.
Listen, we 2 goals. We brought you in here to be our number 9. We brought you here to make a lot of goals, and you're not producing that. Yes, I guess you can kind of, look at Roger and kind of say like, listen, like, how come you're not scoring?
I don't know if maybe correct me if I'm wrong, Tom, but I felt like Roger was actually trying to come in deep to receive some of the passes.
You're absolutely right. In fact, I had a quick look at the average position map just before I came on, and I was surprised to see that Roger was actually behind on average, further back than Peralta was.
And it's like the roles have now been reversed, in which we at first saw it was Peralta the one who would drop in deep and receive, and now it was Roger, and now it's just it just seemed to throw the whole attacking side kind of unbalanced. So it's. I mean, I don't know what. Well, I mean, we could say a lot about Roger. Granted, yes, he's had his injuries. It is his first year. The Mexican League it takes a while to adapt, and Mexico City alone is pretty tough to adapt. I mean, how's it going over there with you and the altitude, Tom?
The altitude is insane. I'm really high up. I'm on the edge of the city, on the way to Toluca. It's about 2,800 meters up here. It's normally about 10 degrees colder than it is actually down in the city. And sometimes, I'm out coaching, you join in a little bit in practice, or you go run after a ball. I'm out of breath in 2 seconds.
It's true, though. It's true.
And it's a feeling that I've never had before. I've done a few runs here just to try to adjust and to see what I could do. And it gives you a feeling like, I can't really describe it. It's like I've never had that feeling of just like your body's burning, your heart's burning, your lungs, you can't breathe. There's just like nothing there.
Mm-hmm.
It's really, really hard, and it's given me a whole new respect. It's something I always said for a while. I've always theorized that the altitude has an impact on the way the Mexican football is played, but now I've got a whole new respect for what those guys do, because back in the UK I could go out and do a 5K jog, and here I can do 3 laps of a football pitch and I'm dead. It's crazy.
It's the altitude is something that it's ridiculous, which is why some teams try to come here a week earlier just to try to find a way to try to accommodate to that. But I mean, all of this, you'd expect Roger maybe at this point of the season to be a little bit better. We saw great things of him from the preseasons, but again, that was only preseason. Can't really take much of that, because we saw Cecilio Dominguez be an absolute monster in preseason, and he hasn't really delivered it in this one. Mm-hmm. So I mean, I don't think it helps too that maybe we've put Roger in the same category as Cabañas, in the sense that we said, oh my God, he reminds me so much of Cabañas because of the way he's built, and that's kind of maybe set the bar a little bit too high for someone who's just coming in, because let's face it, when Cabañas came to the league, he wasn't who he ended up being. When he came to Juarez, and it took him a while to adapt. So I feel like maybe Roger's still into that adapting mode, and which is why when we look at someone like Henry Martin who comes in, you'd expect a little bit more. We haven't gotten from that. And Dylan, he's your boy. I know you stand up for him. So maybe tell me why is it that Henry hasn't even been able to surpass Roger Martinez at this stage of the season?
Well, I mean, I guess you remember my rant a couple pods ago too as well. I mean, you kind of get my gist from that too. You can go back and listen to that too as well. But at the end of the day, you said it too as well. With Liga Peralta, he's our captain. It's a business. Imagine how it'd be if he was to get benched. I feel like we brought in Roger. We're expecting this from Roger too as well. I mean, yeah, we've seen good stuff from Henry Martin too as well in the Copa MX. One thing I do question is, in the second half, why wasn't Henry Martin brought on sooner for Roger Martinez? That's just me. I don't know how y'all feel about that too as well. But I think it's just Piojo. And, I think Piojo maybe overthought it too a little bit too as well. And he keeps thinking, okay, Roger's gonna bring it, and Roger doesn't still. I feel like Roger shows it in the training ground, but when it comes to game time, Roger's not there.
Yeah, I mean, same can be said about a lot of players too, really, on that pitch. I think I think Roger was one of those players who didn't show up. I think Mateus Uribe was probably one that could have done better even before the penalty. Cecilio Dominguez, again, just not the Cecilio Dominguez from last season. I would say this though, the one player that I expected to disappoint me didn't, and I'm very thankful for that. Aguilera seemed like he held his own in this game. I don't know what you guys think.
Yeah, he did, but I guess I don't think he was worked enough. Like we said, America dominated the whole match. You had moments of brilliance from Chivas, but I mean, I don't think they were enough to trouble him. I guess I don't think the center backs or the defense, I should say, didn't really have that big of a task this game.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Tom, but I don't think Marchesín had that much work.
4 shots on target from Chivas in the whole game, which is actually the same that America managed.
I mean, that tells.
But America had 13 more shots in total.
Exactly.
I think that point on Aguilera is absolutely right. It wasn't a game in which the centre backs were regularly tested. Like I said, the Chivas attackers weren't fed with possession very much, so we didn't really see him fully tested.
Which is good though, because we know how mistake prone Aguilera is. So we dodged something.
And Bruno too. I mean, you never know when you get a player in the box, and Bruno is just, I don't know, he's walling out sometimes. But we'll wrap up this segment real quickly, because I know you boys are going to the Chivas del Norte podcast tomorrow, and you guys are going to be breaking it down with them a little bit more. So just kind of your final thoughts on the game, and we'll we'll move on from there. Christian.
Like I said in the beginning, it's a draw with the feeling of defeat. We really should have won this game. I really hope this kind of kicks a gear into the players because we have a tough schedule coming up, and we can't go down from here.
Dylan.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically the same story still. Like I said, we talked about, chance after chance, just didn't finish. It's not there. The finishing isn't there, and kind of like Christian said, we still got a tough schedule coming up. Tigres, Cruz Azul, Toluca, Santos. I mean, it's tough. I mean, this is really going to be a long stretch into where we solidify position in the Liga.
The only bright side I see about our schedule is we close against Veracruz, but even that game has me worried for some reason.
I don't understand. I don't underestimate anyone now.
As we shouldn't. Tom, I'm giving you the platform to just completely just gas out on what the experience was and your final thoughts on what was, I would hope, a pretty good first Super Clásico for you.
It was an unforgettable experience. I've said to some of my friends back in the UK that it's something you've got to go to because it's so unique to what I think it's unique in world football in many ways, and it's unique to what I'm used to. In the UK, fans don't sit together. It doesn't happen. The whole stadium is segregated. You have a small area for away fans and the rest is home. And if you jump up and celebrate when the away team scores in the home end, you get kicked out straight away. So to see from being there 2 hours early, being out in the parking lot, having the pre-game food, American Chivas fans everywhere. You're going into the stadium, American Chivas fans all together. You sit down. There's a family next to me where the dad is America, the mum and the daughter are Chivas. It's just completely mixed. And yet they managed to be loud. They managed to make fun of each other. They managed to create a thrilling, exciting atmosphere, which was more exciting than any English game I've ever been to. And yet it was 100% peaceful, well-natured, even with the penalty at the end. America fans weren't, losing their mind. They weren't causing any trouble. They were still singing for their team. They were laughing around with the Chivas fans. People were taking photos together. People were coming up to me and the guy I was with, asking where we were from. It was so friendly, so loud, so exciting. The atmosphere was unique. And for me, I just couldn't ask for a better atmosphere at a football match. And the way the game went just was perfect for being there. Because like I said, it died off and then it just built up and up and up. And then that Chivas goal went in, the stadium went mad. And that last 20 minutes was just, it was incredible. So something, I don't know if you guys have ever have been to a Super Clásico, but it's something you have got to do. Absolutely. And yeah, incredible experience. I can't wait to go to another one. Really.
Tom's over here living the dream, and I'm living off my college.
Honestly, budget. Oh my! I'm so jealous now. The way you're describing it, just I'm looking up to for the next one.
Their tongues right now because of you, Tom. But you know what? We're very happy that you were able to experience that, and then I'll take these two one day to the Azteca for a game like that. But
gotta go. So much fun.
How was the food?
Yeah, that's where I was going to next, man. After the game, those tacos that they sell outside, I mean, just.
I was with another coach that I work with, and so we had some tacos pre-game. He's lived over here for about 7-8 years, so he knows okay. Everything to do. He knows all the stuff. So yeah, we had some great tacos pre-game, and it was good.
Okay, now here's my question. This is not regarding. This is going back to food. I always ask this because we whenever I know someone that just barely moved to Mexico City, I always tell them, if you're going to Mexico City, there are 3 things I highly recommend you go and eat. They will rock your world. 1 is a torta de tamal.
I knew you were going there. 2
is a bambazo. And 3 is the torta cubana. Now, out of those 3, have you ate any of them?
Not that I know of. A lot of stuff I don't know what it is. I just, my Spanish isn't great, so it's kind of like, that one.
Like, sure.
I couldn't answer that question. You might have to send me some pictures or something so I can get
But
back
I'll
to
tell
you.
you this, though, there's nothing better than a torta tamal in a really, really cold morning down in Mexico City with your champurrado and you're ready to go.
Oh, dude, stop.
I will just leave it at that. But I'll definitely send you some recommendations because I will argue and I will fight anyone who says otherwise. Mexico City's got the best food in the world. I will put it there. And Christian, you agree with me?
Yes, I do agree with you.
There we go. See, Dylan, I'd ask you, but yeah, I feel like you'd say.
I've only been to border towns.
All right, gentlemen. Well, 1-1 results, not exactly what we wanted, but America does close out. Obviously, Piojo in the hot seat after the game. Would you guys say that maybe the seats got a little bit hotter after the result?
Yeah, it's gotten it's kind of warmer.
It's very warm, actually.
How are the tablets running it down there, Tom?
I don't see much. I haven't seen much, to be honest. But you get a feeling that the pressure is starting to build, especially after the Copa MX defeat. I mean, it's Copa MX, but there's something about that defeat. You know, it's been in charge for a while now. So if he doesn't win anything this season, I can understand the pressure coming on. Especially, the squad's very strong, very strong.
Extremely strong. Even with the likes of Menace out, you'd still think that we have more than enough to be able to go and challenge for the championship. So I think we said it too in our preview for the season, Dylan. It's either it's title or he's out.
Title or bust.
Pretty much.
Really
like that. All right, gentlemen, let's move forward and let's try to look into the future as we are gonna go down to the Volcan over there in Monterrey. Tigres, a side that probably isn't the friendliest to go to. I'm not just talking about their fans, but their state. But whenever we do go play against them, we don't always walk away with the best result ever. And I was thinking to myself on the drive back home from school and thinking about this game, and I thought, would a draw be considered a result against Tigres, or are we forcing the team to go out there and get 3 points away at the Volcan, knowing how the situation is right now?
Oh man.
Yeah,
I mean,
a tough one.
I mean, the 3 points are really necessary at this point to me, in my opinion. I mean,
but it's you're away at a very tough area, very tough atmosphere against a very good team. I mean, would you think that a draw would be maybe satisfied enough for the fans and for Piojo, or do we got to say it's America and America's got to go and get all 3 points?
Well, I mean, okay. A draw is realistic. I'll say that. Yeah, it is realistic. But I think at this point, with the way the things have been going, especially with how long Piojo has been the coach, I feel like the draw is more. I'm not the draw. The win is more needed right now. I feel like the need is what the fans and what everybody else is going to expect.
Okay, Tom, what do you think? If America walks out on Saturday with a draw, you think it'd be a good result, or do you think the media will start crucifying Piojo again?
The media will probably crucify just because that's the media, but it's a fine result. Although I have a draw at Tigres is a fine result, but I have just looked at the schedule you guys have got to come, and it's not an easy finish to the season at all.
Nope.
You've got, I mean, Xolos at home afterwards, okay, but then you've got Cruz Azul, which is away, but it's at home as well. That's going to be a really interesting game to see what the atmosphere is like there, because obviously with Cruz Azul being back, he has Teco, and then Toluca aren't easy. Santos away. Santos is a tough place to go to. Yeah, you should beat Veracruz to finish, but it's a pretty tough run-in, and obviously you guys are looking at it thinking we really want to come first, second in the table. I think top 4 is absolutely fine for me, but it's tight. There's a lot of teams within a few points, as ever. That's Liga MX. So you come outside the top 4, and then the pressure's on for that first playoff game, because if you tie, then you're out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think the boys will agree with me. Top 3 is what we're looking for. I don't even think a 4th place spot would even be all right with us.
No, definitely not.
No, because I mean, like like Tom said too, this team stacked. This is a strong squad. Whether Piojo is playing them to their strengths, I don't really think so. I still think we still have yet to see the full potential of this team too as well. And at times I think we have seen it too as well. It's just the consistency of keeping that for the full 90 minutes. Really, I mean that's the first step, I think, is to play the full 90 minutes consistently too as well, because we still haven't seen that too as well from the team.
Okay. Agreed right there. So yeah, I mean, realistically, a draw is okay, acceptable. A win is exactly what America needs at this point. Because you imagine America walks out of the Volcan with 3 points. You can only imagine what that's going to do to the confidence of the team to try to close out the season. I mean, these last couple of home games that we have don't even kind of, fill me with that much confidence. At Tijuana, for some reason, whenever they've come to the Azteca in the past season, I think they've closed themselves down pretty much to the point where they're comfortable with trying to get a draw away from us, which they did last season. And I mean, obviously the Cruz Azul game is also at home, even though it's quote unquote away, but that's also going to be a very tough matchup at that. And surprisingly enough, I think even though it's Veracruz, for some reason at that point of the season, I feel like if we're really, really looking to get points at that point, if we haven't secured third place, then it's going to be a tough match. Mm-hmm. So yeah, 3 points right now would mean the world to the team. But at the same time, I don't think a draw should cause for concern in regards to what the rest of the season has to come.
I don't know. I'm very indifferent on this because, listen, Cruz Azul, Santos, Toluca, Tigres, they're all in the top 8. Okay, a draw here, a draw there. We're looking at 7th, 8th. Tijuana is tied for 8th. So Tijuana's going to play us hard because they want to get in that 8th spot. So I really don't think we can afford a draw this Saturday. We need to go for the 3 points. And I think Piojo will tell the boys, listen, we need 3 points this match.
Okay, now that I have you guys on that mindset, 3 points is what we need away from the Volcan. Now, what is it that we need to produce in order to get these 3 points? Because how is it that Tigres has been doing in these past couple of games?
Shoot, I don't even know.
Tigres has been... I don't know, to be honest.
Oh my God, no.
And they've been in indifferent form all season, to be honest, Tigres. It's been like many of their seasons, actually. They often come good. I mean, they've won the last 3 aperturas. They often come good when it matters most. But they got a very important victory on the weekend against Querétaro, but obviously their Clásico against Monterrey was not a very good performance from either team, to be honest. And yeah, they haven't had an exceptional season. I still think what we're seeing from Tigres more than ever, I think, is rotation of players. And Ferretti is not sure what his best attacking lineup is right now. We're seeing, one game it's Valencia, then it's Quiñones. Dam's had more game time than a lot recently. Hasn't done that great. Zelarayan's playing a lot. They've still got Vargas, who gets the odd start, comes in from the bench. So they, maybe in a similar way to America, stacked in attack, but haven't quite found their best formula, their best lineup. And so they're chopping and changing around a bit, and it hasn't been majorly effective this season.
It hasn't. Neither has it been for America. So now the question is, what Tigres are we going to get on Saturday?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Because the question is, what America are we going to put out there as well? Because now it's 2 teams that are kind of on a similar kind of road. The thing that worries me, though, is like Tom said, Tigres have been very irregular throughout the last couple of seasons, but they turn it on when it matters. And guess what? We're at that point of the season where, hey, you need to start turning it on if you want to make it into the Liga in good form. And, I mean, what better way to do it than against America? We all know how it goes here in the league. You can play bad for 3, 4, 5 games, but when it comes time to play against America, for some reason everyone seems to start showing up.
Mm-hmm.
It's the weirdest thing, but it happens, and that's just the thing too as well.
Well, just because there's a certain pride in beating the big boys.
Yeah, that's true too.
Whether it's America, Chivas, or at the time Cruz Azul and Pumas, but. Yeah, now the question is, okay, so we know that Tigres is probably going to put out their best lineup. We're probably going to see a very attacking side. Question is,
well, now, I mean, like Tom said, what is their best lineup? I mean, like,
But
you know,
does it really matter at
it's
this point? If you really look at Tigres' squad, they have so much depth in every position. So I don't think it really matters what player they put out, because they're gonna at any moment they can just pop off and create something.
Dylan, you asked what's Tigres' best attacking lineup. His name is Gignac, and that's pretty much it. Because he's been a thorn in our side for quite some time now. You know,
On everyone's side.
Yes.
if we're not careful, he's gonna become the next Boselli against us. You know, so it's just it's trying to find a way to, I wouldn't say neutralize just Gignac, because like we said, Tigres has more options than just him, but it's trying to find that balance in that defense. And a player that we mentioned earlier, Aguilera, is he going to get the start or is he going to sit the bench? I would imagine that we'd want to see Edson in the starting 11, no?
Definitely. I think that's in the start. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then Tom, let's give it to someone who's more on a neutral perspective here. Who do you think should be the right center back partnership for America between Edson, Aguilera, and Bruno? Which one of those needs to start, and which one of those can see the bench?
I would like to see Edson and Bruno. I think Valdez is a fantastic defender. Obviously, we all know about Edson. Been a top prospect for a long time now. It's what I'd like to see, but I did wonder whether after his absence he will make it back into the squad. And the reason I say this is just because of age and experience. And I wonder how much will Piojo say, I want the old guys, I want the experience. I know you guys aren't a big fan of Aguilera. I don't know exactly what Piojo thinks himself, but he has the experience, and that's something Piojo seems to like. I mean, we come back to Martin earlier. For me, Martin has done absolutely nothing wrong since he's been with America. I think he's performed very, very well, and I think the only reason he hasn't been getting more chances ahead of Martinez, who has not done as well as you guys would have hoped, is because of the reputation, because of the lack of experience, because of the lack of game time that he's had in his career. So, you do wonder whether these things, how much these things count against them. But I'd like to see Edson and Bruno personally.
Now, he brings up a good point in that, in regards to experience. And now let's not forget too that Bruno lost his starting position after he got a red card in the Pumas game. Now, will Edson suffer the same fate? Because let's face it, both red cards, both Bruno's and Edson's, were very stupid ones to concede. Mm-hmm. So, will Piojo end up taking kind of Tom's perspective and going with that defensive lineup where both center backs are very experienced, or will he respect Edson's good form and say, "All right, you're back in it"? Anyone?
I mean, I get what's going on here too. It's to me, it just seems it's kind of up in the air, and what's really gonna happen to as well. I get the fact that Bruno lost his spot. Obviously whenever he got that red card, and obviously like you said, you didn't see him in the lineup for a while too as well. Just a matter of what Piojo wants, and at the end of the day, I'd rather have Edson over Aguilera. But I've just it's a thing that it's a Piojo thing that, like you always said, you never know what's gonna happen now with Piojo and what he's gonna do with the lineup.
Okay. And talking about lineup, I'm about to ask you too to give me your predicted lineup. Give me what you guys think is gonna be the 11 that fields against Tigres on Saturday.
I'll go. I'll have Marchesín in goal, Aguilar, Bruno, Edson. I go Sanchez in the left back position. I'd have Renato Ibarra on the right, Uribe, Guido. I actually started Ibargüen in the left hand side this weekend. Then Uribe Peralta obviously up top, our captain, and I'd rather see Henry start this time over Roger.
But what is your gut telling you?
I guess telling me Roger's going to start anyways.
It's most likely going to be true. So, Christian, do you add anything to that lineup?
Nope, same exact lineup.
Nice. Okay, so then Ibargüen has merited a start after the goal in the Clásico.
He's just better than Cecilia this season. And
We never doubted him.
We never doubted him. I
I
haven't. I still still
never
doubting.
doubted him. I've always said I think Ibarguen has shown more than Cecilio, and it boggles my mind how come Ibarguen didn't start this game over Cecilio. And I think would have made a bigger impact on the game, in my opinion.
I don't know. He does a little bit too much for me sometimes. But I mean, so does Cecilios. I feel like they're both on the same boat for me. But Tom, now after hearing what the boys have predicted, how do you see that lineup for America? Do you think that's strong enough to come out with said 3 points, or you think that we're gonna be lacking something?
Well, I agree with the predicted lineup. First of all, I think that Ibarguen will come in, and I definitely think he's shown a lot more than Cecilio has this season. Cecilio, ever since last season, I think it was after a game at Pachuca where he had a ridiculous game, and I tweeted something like, "Get him in the team of the season already."
Yes.
Ever since then, he's been pretty awful. Seriously, I had some sort of jinx after that tweet, but yeah, to me, I don't know why he's been starting so much lately, because yeah, he hasn't done enough. He just keeps losing the ball in his attempts to dribble and isn't affecting the game in enough of a positive manner. In terms of the specifics for the game against Tigres, I think that America's strengths on the wing actually could prove very, very good in this game. Obviously, shutting down their attack, the Tigres attack, is a challenge, although Tigres, with the way they play, often make it very easy for you to defend against them if you sit back, because they pass the ball sideways and backwards for a lot of the game. They don't force things. They don't play very, very quickly for a lot of the match. And if you effectively defend deep against them, deny space, then they can find it very difficult to break down. Like we saw in the Clásico against Monterrey, they barely created a thing because Monterrey defended well against them. And then if America can do this and rapidly hit on the counter with the pace they've got down the wings, we know Ibarra and Ibarguen, they're phenomenally fast when running with the ball. If they can do that, then I think they'll cause Tigres a lot of problems. So personally, I think this is a game that's set up well for America. I think it's set up well for the way that the way the squad is balanced, the way they've been looking to play. The danger is if they do try to press a bit more and try to battle over possession, then Tigres are actually, despite their possession game that we know them so well for, they're normally most dangerous when they play a ball over the top. And they scored both their goals on Saturday against Querétaro with balls over the top. So if America play this game sensibly, I think they can definitely come away with a victory.
Okay, well, there you guys have it. Tom breaking it down perfectly. We're going to send that little clip to Piojo and everyone down there in America. Hopefully they can listen to you, because at this point, a lot of us are starting to lose faith in the tactics that are being put out there on the pitch. But hopefully with Tom's, great way of breaking it down, hopefully Piojo can do that, because you're right. I think this game is set up perfectly for America to go out there and try to get the 3 points. Lately, I don't feel like there's enough in the players to try to go out there and look for it, especially if we concede. I think the moment we concede a goal, it feels like the team morale just goes down, and that's not what you want to see. You want to see a team that will fight, that will say, okay, you scored a goal on me, we're about to go score 2 on you. I just don't see that from the team. I haven't really seen that in quite some time. But I mean, what do you guys think? You guys agree with Tom? Anything else you guys want to add on? What do you guys have? Not all at once.
Mine lagged. I'm sorry. I didn't get to hear your question.
Dylan, you didn't hear me?
No, I did not hear you at all. I'm sorry.
Cowboy Dan.
Cowboy Dan. And his Wi-Fi, damn, that's cool Wi-Fi. But it's just basically, I feel like if we concede a goal, I feel like that's the end of us at that point, because I feel like the team just doesn't have that spirit to just say, all right, we're gonna come back, we're gonna come back. And after that, I said, you agree with Tom? Would you add anything to that? What final thoughts on this?
Oh no, yeah, I do agree with Tom. It's just that I don't really see us soaking in the pressure like the whole 90 minutes though as well. And I'm pretty sure that's what Tom was getting at too as well. But I do like that idea of counterattacking. My only concern is are we crisp on the counterattacking? Because I think we saw plenty of chances. We had the chance to counterattack against Chivas, and the passes were off. It wasn't really crisp at all. The counterattacking aspect of this game.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? You're right, Tom. We have such pace down the wings, and sometimes I feel like it's too much pace that some of these times, Ibarra and Ibargüen just kind of forget the ball.
Mm-hmm. And going back on the topic of conceding a goal, we concede a goal. I kind of feel Renato Ibarra gets a little bit too desperate. I think he tries to force a lot of things, and if we concede a goal, I'm afraid that he's going to try to force more things, which will lead us to losing the ball more. And I kind of feel that with Roger as well. Like, I think it was Tom that mentioned it, that Roger has been dropping back in the last game. I feel like if we concede a goal, he's going to want to do that more too when Oribe Peralta's doing it as well. And we have no one in that kind of like the area in the box to receive and make a goal. Conceding a goal is very bad for us. And I also think that Guido and Mateos will have the biggest jobs this game against Tigres, against their midfield in Pizarro and Carioca.
Yeah. We'll have to see what the midfield battle is and who comes out on top. Hopefully, it's going to be our boys, but I mean, we'll have to wait and see. But it will be Saturday. Is it at 5 my time or?
Yes, 5 your time.
It's at 7?
My time.
It's 5 your time?
No, 5 your time, 8 my time.
Oh, 8 your time. So it is a pretty decently midday game for us here in the United States. It's gonna be 7 for you, Tom and Dylan. So it's perfect evening game, I would imagine. And obviously, it's gonna be at the Volcán. We're gonna be able to see it through Univision. I would believe you'd be able to see it through Televisa, Tom.
Yeah, probably. I flick through the channels. It's somewhere. All the games are somewhere. The Copa MX games seem to be shown on about 7 different channels. The rights must be really cheap or something. They all show them.
Yeah, they do. It's ridiculous. And all from the little bit that I know is America games are usually on Channel 5.
Yeah.
Or both America games since I've been here. I've been home games I've been at. So
I mean, yeah. So you wouldn't know.
I wouldn't know.
And you have that. I was like, come on, people down there in Mexico. If Tom's being able to go and he's not even an America fan, why are you guys not going? Come on. Is it? Tell us, how is Mexico City traffic?
Bad. Yeah, it's pretty bad, especially on a Friday. Friday traffic is really bad. But
oh my goodness,
it got crazy down there, no?
It does, but generally, like for the games, I've been going pretty early. Like on Sunday, I went to Pumas first, so I was just out for the day, and so I went early. So it was fine getting to the stadium, but yeah, afterwards getting out took ages. So my advice is make the most of it. Go early, get your food, or stay afterwards to have food. Enjoy the experience rather than sitting in traffic.
Get food before and after.
Even better.
That's Ivan's motto.
It is, because it softens the pain or it keeps you going happy. So on whatever aspect, it's food is food and it's delicious. Like I said, I will live and die by my statement. Mexico City is the best food in the world. But I mean, now comes the best part of the show, prediction time. So give me your prediction for Saturday's game. I'll throw it to you first, Tom.
I think it's gonna be a good game. I'm going for a 2-2.
2-2. Okay, I think
Scotty. Really good game.
Scotty mentioned on the chat 2-2. Okay.
Really? Okay.
All right, Dylan, give me your prediction. Cowboy Dan says
3-2.
3-2.
America.
For America. Wow. Okay. Not the only one to say 3-2. Mr. Lewis giving that prediction as well in the chat. All right. Christian, give me your prediction.
3-1 America.
3-1 America. Where is all this confidence for goals?
I feel I have this
we're going
weird.
up against Chivas. You guys giving me like 1 goal margin.
I have this weird hunch that Tigres will get a red card on Saturday. I don't know why, but I feel it coming.
Okay, so now all of a sudden we got goals coming out of nowhere. So okay, so 3-2, 2-2, and 3-1. I'm gonna be the only one to go conservative here, and I'm going 1-0 America in like the 80-something minute. We walk away with it, and that's still a
Wow.
little bit far fetched for me.
Wow.
I've gone a full 180. I've been from predicting 4-0 since the World Cup to now being very conservative.
You learned your lesson finally.
I did.
And that guy that's at us too.
Yeah, he brought it to our attention. So, but one day I'll bring back that 4-0 prediction out of retirement. But it sounds like you guys are predicting a very good game with a lot of goals.
Yes.
So let's hope that is the right thing to do. You'd expect a very, very, very good spectacle. I mean, these are two very good teams going at it. I mean, it's Tigres on one end, who have been this kind of dominant team for the past couple of years. And then, of course, it's America. America is always going to have this kind of pressure to deliver. But, let's hope that it is a very good game. And would you guys be upset if the result stands 2-2, like Tom says?
Yes, like I mentioned before, we can't afford a tie right now.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, it's realistic, but at this point, with the way Piojo's been handling things, I think we can go back obviously and talk about a couple games that we could have done differently and possibly win. I mean, at this point, you want to see the 3 points, because I think it's that point in the season. We've said it too, that every point's going to count now.
I'm thinking I'm the only one that would be okay with a 2-2 result.
And I think a 3 points is needed, especially for morale. You just lost in Copa MX. You just tied against Chivas when you should have won. A good win against Tigres, who's a very good team, can do something for their morale, and I hope it does.
Well, let's hope it is, and let's hope that we do walk away with that win. But I'm just saying this for all Americanismo out there that are listening to this right now. If we walk away with a draw, do not call for Piojo's head, because it's a pretty decent result against.
You already did. There's no going back.
I'm just saying. I mean, we're so quick to fire the trigger here, but I mean, tell me, who's gonna come and replace Piojo at this point?
Me.
Besides you, Christian, because your contract.
Tom. There we go. Tom.
Tom's right there. Why not?
No, I take that. But I don't want to put Tom in such a hot seat right now, because he's coming in like more than midway through the season.
I'd take it.
All right, I like it. All right, Tom. You know what? Fine. We lose against Tigres, and then you can put in your application, and you get hired on the spot.
There you go.
All right. All right. Well, you guys heard it here. We're predicting a pretty good game at the end of the day. Whether it's a draw, whether it's a win, hopefully, cross your fingers and hope that I hear that it's not a loss, because, man, our people gonna go berserk if that happens. But we're very hopeful, and hopefully America does walk away with 3 points from the Volcan. So, gentlemen, before we even get close to ending the show, we do have a trivia question that we have to give to the audience. So, Christian, I give it to you now. Go ahead and let them know what today's trivia question is while I post it on the chat.
Sure. So today's trivia question is, who did America face in the 2005 Clausura final?
And that, ladies and gentlemen, was Dorados. So. I'm kidding.
Dang, Ivan. Given the answer, I like that.
Yeah, Ivan.
No, go ahead. It's in the chat. You guys have your hour to answer from here on out. And then hopefully you guys... How's it looking in the score sheet, Christian?
It's pretty good. There's one person that's like up by 20 points. And then there's like 4 people that are all tied. So if that person misses a couple, you can see someone sneak in.
Wow, so you're telling me that our trivia table is just as tight as the Liga MX table right now?
Pretty much. Well, what do you expect? Liga MX, Liga MX, it correlates,
I'm liking it. So make sure you guys go. The question again is, go ahead, Christian, tell them.
Oh, who did America face in the 2000 Clausura final?
2005
Clausura final. Yes.
Alrighty, gentlemen. So before we come to the end of this show, I want to thank Mr. Tom Harrison for coming out and giving us his expertise, advice on everything. Tom, thank you so much again for coming on the show.
was a pleasure to be here. Apologize again about the technical difficulties and everything that I've had.
No, it's okay. I mean,
no
at the end of the day,
problem.
I think we're gonna just change our name to the Technical Difficulty Show because it happens every week. Literally happens every week.
Yeah. Mhm.
But we got you here for the first time, and hopefully it's one of many to come for you here on the show. I always like to ask people who come on here for the first time because you're someone who's well known and well respected in the community, someone who wasn't really part of this Liga MX culture and found it and has come to love and adore it as his own. For people who kind of look up to what you're doing, and for the younger generation that has a passion just the same way you have a passion for this sport and for this league, what advice would you give them who maybe want to follow within your footsteps?
I would say, I mean, I could give a million pieces of advice, but I'll give two main things. Number one, try and do something unique. Create a niche, create an identity for yourself with what you're trying to do. If you want to have some sort of following, try and do something different that not everyone's doing. And the other thing would be make friends, get involved, chat to people, have contacts are key. So
do you want to be my friend?
I'd say.
It's okay, you don't have to.
Of course. Friend of the show.
There you go, friend of the show. Friend of the show. No, but thank you so much, Tom. I think I think these two gentlemen too could say it just as well as I can, that we respect you and look up to you because what just your story is tremendous. For those who don't know, maybe give them just a quick little a brief background of you and how you got into this.
Well, the short version is that I accidentally watched a Liga MX game 5 years ago and fell in love with everything about it. And it's gone from there.
And look, he's now in Mexico City learning how to pickpocket people's belongings. No, but we're tremendously happy for you, Tom, and we're excited for everything that's to come. And obviously, you're a big name in the Liga MX community because of what you've said. You've created an image for yourself, an identity, something that people can relate to. You're at times maybe we're known as the other Tom, but now I think people put you on your own platform as the Tom Harrison, and it's amazing to see. If you look back at the years you've had, it's tremendous to see you in the position that you are right now, and it really is inspiring for all of us right here, not just us, but for many more people as well.
Thank you. That's very, very kind of you to say. Yeah, I never thought I'd have that impact. So thank you.
No, you're welcome. You're welcome. Keep doing what you're doing. You're making all of us proud. Really, you really, really are. So, gentlemen, anything else you want to say to our great guest?
Yeah, just thank you for coming on the show, and you really are an inspiration for me. And just keep doing what you're doing.
Dylan?
Yeah. Just thanks, man. Kind of going off of making those contacts, I always bring back to that saying Ivan likes me to say, it's not about the grades you make, but the hands you shake.
Definitely is. All right. Well, gentlemen, make sure you guys do follow Mr. Tom Harrison. Tom, where can they find you on Twitter?
It's at TomH_36.
At TomH_36. Make sure you guys follow him because every single game he has something to say about, and the way he breaks things down is amazing. Really, really is amazing. And then he has a perspective that many of us don't have, and it really is fascinating to be able to hear it and read about it. So shout out to you, Mr. Tom, for doing what you're doing, and keep doing it. And I know a lot of more people are out here congratulating you as well.
Thanks again. Thank you.
All righty. Well, comes us to the end of the show, gentlemen. Thank you for coming out. And
wait. You forgot about the Lady Aguilas.
Oh no, I totally forgot about. And hey, they actually did something the men's couldn't do. They actually got a result against the Clásico.
Yeah, a 3-0 win too, for the big win too, as well, as it sits second in the table with 22 points with the game in hand, but below Pachuca, who have 23 points.
Yep. Well, we'll definitely give them more of a platform on next podcast. I promise you, ladies. I promise you we will. But we're running a little bit late on the show. But yes, nice little shout out for them right there. Ladies Aguilas with the W. Anything else you guys want to add on?
No,
that's everything, I think.
All right. Well, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of the Eagle Eye podcast. This has been episode 41, and we're looking forward to that Tigres game on Saturday. Make sure you guys do follow us on all social media platforms at Eagle Eye Pod. You guys can find us on Instagram, and you can find us on Twitter as well, where we'll have you guys covered with everything. I mean, everything regarding up to that game. Whether or not Diego Lainez will make it, you guys will have to wait and find out and hear from our platforms as well. Huge shout out to La Resaca Americanista, who just received a nice little plaque from YouTube for reaching over 100K subscribers on YouTube. So huge shout out to you guys, and hopefully you guys continue to keep doing what you're doing, because again, you guys are an inspiration to all Americanismo, not just in Mexico, but as you guys can see right here in the United States as well. Thank you again to Mr. Tom for coming on to the show, and gentlemen, as always, thank you for giving us another great podcast.
Yeah, no problem. I'm about to go get this Whataburger now because I'm starving.
All right. Dylan is going to go eat. Cowboy Dan, thank you again. Christian, you're off to do New York things?
Yes, sir. New York things. It's freaking pouring now. Out of nowhere, just started pouring.
Wow.
I will say this, though. I'm supposed to get rain tomorrow, which I'm hugely skeptical about it, because I think rain is a myth in California. But you guys, you enjoy that rain. You enjoy that rain, and you enjoy that Whataburger, and all of you guys keep enjoying the podcast, and you guys keep enjoying your guys' beautiful lives. We'll be back next week to talk about everything that happened against Tigres. We'll give more of the Lady Aguilas a platform, and we'll talk more and more about Las Aguilas de America, and probably El3, seeing how it's almost national call-up time, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Right. Well, we'll get into all that discussion a lot more later down the road. Thank you to everyone who joined today. Mr. Football Forever, Chris, Lewis, Dylan. Oh, wait, you were already here on the pod. Just reading down the names. Mr. Leyva, Parishan, everyone. And to everyone who is listening on SoundCloud and iTunes as well, make sure you guys do follow us on those platforms if you guys ever miss a live show. And thank you so much for every single one of you guys' support. We're just that much more closer to our targeted goal mark. So again, thank you guys so much. We'll be seeing you guys very, very soon. And as always, arriba la América. Bye.